Welcome back to the show. Well, as you know, we love local artists here on this show, and today is no different. We're going to introduce you to a wonderful local artist who does some really unique work using black and white photos. Her name is Nancy Lynn Stoller. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. You've got your solo exhibition happening at Centrepointe Theatre Gallery, so congratulations on that, running right through until September 29th. Let's talk about you as an artist, though. How did you get involved in the arts?
Okay, well, I've always been creative in one way or another, whether it's in the arts, it's in film, was in television when I was a kid. So there's always been a bit of all of that going on. I decided in my late 20s to get into architectural design and interior design. And so I studied in California, and I learned how to do technical rendering. So I had a fine arts background from Western University.
Right.
And I combined the two together, and I came up with this style of doing watercolor rendering in the days that they used to actually pay architects to do the drawings of all the buildings. But anyway,
things have changed. Right?
Yes, things have changed. So anyhow, I decided in the late 80s that I found an old photograph of a store that my dad had in Peterborough in the 50s. And it was kind of like an Honest Ed's, and it had a 3-story clown on the facade of the building. And in my graduating year, I brought that in to do this watercolor rendering course that I was doing as an elective. And so the architect that taught the course looked at me and said, "Are you nuts? Everybody's coming in with colored photographs and things like this and that they wanted to produce. And I come in with this old black and white photograph that's about that big." And I said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to do it." And that's what started me doing all of this. So since then, I've just fallen in love with doing that stuff, and it's become my style.
Yeah, and here we've got one of your photos up here. Describe what you've done. So this was a black and white photo.
It was a black and white photo that I had, and I just somehow I gravitate to the black and white photos because I've decided that after doing the photo of my dad's store that took about 120 hours to paint.
Wow.
If you stare at black and white photographs long enough, you can actually tell what color things are. So this was one that it had a lot of sort of personal attachment to me because when I was a little kid, I had the red and white polka dotted bikini and did the dog thing and had the ponytails for half my life. So when I saw that, everyone said, "Gee, Nance, that kind of looks like you." So that one was sort of a fun one that I just finished this year.
All right, let's bring up another one we can have a look at.
Now, this one is from one of the years at the X.
Okay, yeah, I thought 50s. I recognized it. Yeah.
And that was from the Ottawa Board of Trade. And it used to be a booth for JC's Cantina, which was all Ottawa businesses and whatnot. And I think I found that as a photograph in the archive building at one point, because I go searching for this stuff. So, right. And the cattle castle's in the background.
Yeah.
And so it just, again, reminds me of when I was a kid and the best part of the fall was running out to the X and playing all the games and kind of having a good time. This one, again, is another black and white photo. Of just a carnival and the things you did when you were a kid. And they just sort of pop out at me. And people are starting to send me photographs of things like this as well.
Really?
Because they're kind of catching on to my style of things.
Yeah, and a lot of ones that, is this the clown one?
This is the clown one. This is actually in Peterborough, Ontario, in I believe 1956. And I think I remember my dad saying when he saw the painting, he said, if I would have known you were going to paint it, I would have asked the guy next door to move his car. So, and that's one of my favorite parts. Is
now, do you manipulate them at all? I mean, is this, have you changed any of the wording or anything, or have you just added color?
No, what I've done is I clean it up a little bit. You know, things like telephone wires don't exist anymore, things like that.
Right.
But I typically like to work from the original signage and things, and I like the fact that it dates it and gives you an idea of just something that you don't necessarily see anymore.
Oh, for sure. And a lot of the black and white photos you use are from the 50s. What sort of draws you to the 1950s? What do you love about that era?
It's all fun. Like this one that's up now, this one's a little bit earlier than that, because if you look at the top of it, I'm not even sure if we can see it from here, but the phone number is only 5 digits.
Okay.
And so, you know, it kind of makes you think back to just how simple everything was.
What kind of place is this?
This was a roadside stand where it was like a little market where they sold fruits and vegetables, and they brought in their own fish and all kinds of stuff, and obviously local produce.
It's unbelievable what you've done. I mean, it takes a lot of talent. This one is from Ottawa, is it not? Is this not the old Capitol Theatre?
Yeah, it's one of the Capitol Theatres. It was sort of a trademark of their theatres to all look pretty similar. So there was also one in Toronto that looked very similar to this as well.
I love that the Thing
Yes.
is on there.
Yes.
That was a big deal back then.
Horror movies have come a long way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes. This one actually was inspired. I took this photograph myself actually out in Twin Peaks in California. And the name on the helmet caught my eye because a very good friend of mine is actually a captain with the fire department here in town, and that's his last name. So I took the photograph to give it to him, and when I brought it back, we just decided that it would make a really good painting. So I've been actually doing those for guys in the fire department now and customizing the helmets for them.
Oh, what a great idea.
So that kind of came up after 9/11.
So, I mean, you mentioned a lot of people send you some photos. If there's viewers watching and they want something, you know, done, do you do commissioned work?
I will, yeah. If they send me something that's sort of my style that I think is something I can do for them and make it something they actually want to look at. So, you know, that I'm open to looking at all kinds of things.
And everything that's at your solo exhibition, is it for sale as well if people are interested in making a purchase when they go down?
Yes, it is. They're all marked. They're all listed.
Okay.
These are original. They're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They're multimedia pieces.
Right.
So they're all originals. They've all been hand painted on top. They look like a canvas, a wrap canvas, but it's all watercolor work.
Well, it's beautiful work. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing it. Really appreciate it. Again, it's happening. It's the Good Old Days solo exhibition by Nancy Lynn Stoller, Centrepointe Theatre Gallery, running all the way until September 29th. Don't go away. We're talking about the Latin American Festival. Joanne's sitting down with one of the organizers right after the break. Don't go anywhere.